Hello and welcome back to the Shed Geek Podcast. Here's a message from our 2025 studio sponsor. Let's be real. Running a shed business today isn't just about building great sheds. The industry is changing fast. We're all feeling the squeeze, competing for fewer buyers while expectations keep climbing. And yet, I hear from many of you that you are still juggling spreadsheets, clunky software, or disconnected systems. You're spending more time managing chaos than actually growing your business. That's why I want to talk to you about our studio sponsor, Shed Pro. If you're not already using them, I really think you should check them out. Shed Pro combines your 3D configurator, point of sale, RTO contracts, inventory, deliveries, and dealer tools all in one platform. They even integrate cleanly into our Shed Geek marketing solutions. From website lead to final delivery, you can quote, contract, collect payment, and schedule delivery in one clean workflow. No more double entries, no more back and forth chaos. Quoting is faster, orders are cleaner. And instead of chasing down paperwork, you're actually running your business. And if you mention Shed Geek, you'll get 25% off all setup fees. Check it out at shedpro.co/ShedGeek. Thank you, Shed Pro, for being our studio sponsor, and honestly, for building something that helps the industry. Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast, late night edition. Right? What is it?
Depends which time we're going off of. 11 where we're sitting.
11.
10 by our body's clock, I suppose.
Yeah,
late.
That's right. Because we're
late for a podcast.
We're on Central Time. We're in Eastern. So we're tired.
Good, long couple days worth of travel. Invigorated, but tired. Yes.
And this is a special podcast.
First time.
Because this is the inaugural Shed Geekette edition. I don't know. Maybe. She won't talk. She'll have plenty to say after this podcast when you guys can't hear it. So we are traveling. I'll give you the setting. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We left yesterday morning. Stopped by and talked to Charles Hutchins in E-Town. Went to Del Beachy. Got to see him outside of Columbus.
Yep. Very good talk with him. He shares our love of sweets later in the evening. So we have that in common, if nothing else.
What was the molasses?
Corn cob molasses, which sounds like an old timey recipe that was, by his telling, kind of resurrected for this charitable auction. And I won't share the dollar amount, but it was a very expensive jar of corn cob molasses that he so freely shared with us. I was honored to have it, and it's delicious. It's great.
And he even sent you home.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, I got the Amish peanut butter.
Of course. Right.
Because that's always a win.
Always.
And yes, for the second time, got a chance to sit and eat ice cream with Dale around the kitchen table. Love his lot, love his story. 1982, Dad starting it, the whole thing. It's just fun to be there. It's got Shed Industry blueprint written all over it.
Yeah, a true legacy business within the industry. I mean, a legacy for the family, a legacy for, Plain City, Ohio. I mean, I just think all in all, it's awesome. It's moving, honestly. Yeah. It's moving to be out there, moving to talk to Dale, so yeah, great day yesterday. And now we've already back on the road today.
Back on the road, doing a CRM training tomorrow. And then going to try to spend some time maybe going through Pennsylvania because we have Cord Koch with me here, the Shed Geek brand strategist. Nailed it that time on the first try. And we have Deanna, my wife.
Hello.
For the first time on the podcast, who's usually editing the episodes or organizing at least the publishing of that. We have a few people who edit, and she kind of oversees making sure it's there, making sure that harmless things like the name Jonathan Ulrich is actually Jonathan and not Justin.
Yes.
We can tell that story now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Because it's been 2 years.
Right.
Or so. But Deanna was first starting to help me. And you say Jonathan Ulrich, that's a name that's known and appreciated in the industry.
Right.
Right? Very knowledgeable guy and just, right. And we had him on a couple times and he was very popular and he was sharing some thoughts. And Deanna was helping me edit.
It was probably one of the first ones I did.
It was. And to me, I know the name Jonathan Ulrich when I hear it. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, smart guy.
Of
been in
course.
the industry a long time.
Sure.
All that. To Deanna, it didn't mean nothing.
A name that started with a J.
Name
right?
that started with a J. And she thought she heard Justin. So when we published it, she published it as Justin. Now, what I find humorous about this that I can share with the audience, since this is late night version,
Sure. Yeah, right.
I can share
Open
some
the
stuff.
vault.
I'm going to get
Open the
some
vault.
stuff off my heart.
That's
here.
right. Hey.
You know, what's crazy is how many people I had reach out to me and say, Justin, what are you, an idiot?
Right.
His name's Jonathan. And so, like, a leader, I'm going to call myself that, a leader, the owner of Shed Geek brand, right?
Right.
I kindly did not throw my wife under the bus and say, guys, this wasn't my mistake.
Until 2 years later.
Until 2 years later.
When you get me on here.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Thanks
First
for that.
I've been saving that for 2 years.
That's the real reason you wanted me on here,
That's
wasn't
right.
it? Just so
I wanted to
could get in trouble.
ridicule you in front of the whole industry. And yeah, I thought it was funny. So Jonathan and me made a fun little joke about it at the NBSRA, former NBSRA.
Right.
Now the resurrected NSRA. But yeah, about me messing that up. And to this day, until now, 2 years later, never admitted that wasn't my fault.
Right.
But now that I've got her on here, fellas, I won this argument.
Right.
For all the guys listening.
That's right.
Well, did I really win? Because
Well, it'll take 2 years for that result to shake out too.
I do have to sleep tonight.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So anyway, now, this is what I was going to say. What's funny is how many people told me I messed that up. And like one guy messaged me and he circled it and he said, Justin, are you kidding me? And I was like, oh, person I will leave nameless. I was like, oh, good to hear from you in 5 years. You haven't said hello. The minute I make a mistake, you sure didn't mind reaching
You're on
out
it. That's right.
and letting me know.
They're keeping us honest.
We had a good laugh.
And we
about
appreciate
it.
that.
But trust me, if there's a mistake on the podcast, name is spelt wrong. Someone says something.
Sorry, Cord.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't even register to me until we literally brought it up 2 days ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I've been meaning to tell you.
Yeah. German name,
Right. German name.
pronounced Cook,
Right.
spelt Koch.
Correct. I always joke that we were good enough Germans to keep the spelling, but not good enough Germans to keep the pronunciation. so it's led to some confusion, like if the family was, really trying to do their best. But anyway, yeah, but that's no big deal.
So one of the things we wanted to do was hit the road.
Yeah.
And it worked out good because, we could do this CRM training. So we were like, you know what, let's drive. Let's get up at 6 a.m. Let's drive and not go to bed till midnight every night for 5 days in a row.
Right.
Because we're sane people.
Right.
And meet as many people or talk to as many people or see as many existing customers. So we tried to line up a few podcasts.
Yeah.
And just fell through.
Right.
Didn't work out. That happens. People's schedules happen. So we were like, let's go to the hotel room, rearrange all their furniture.
Right.
Have to hold the mics in our hand at 11 o'clock at night,
Right.
in which I was still on the phone with somebody in the shed industry.
Right.
Because it never stops. And let's record a podcast about nothing in particular.
Just the travels. Well, more or less recap the podcast that we've been having without recording for the last 14 hours in the truck that we've subjected Deanna to as she rides and has to listen to us talk.
Maybe I should just sneak a microphone back there while we drive.
It'd be months, years worth of content.
The best, the best podcasts are never recorded.
Right.
In my opinion. We put out a product that we don't attempt to manufacture, but we also don't put out the best conversations that happen. Shed expos, shed hauler bashes, offices.
Dale Beachy's kitchen last night.
Yes.
I mean, a conversation about mission work and, Jesus in our lives every day.
Yeah.
Right?
We talk more about the Great Commission than we talked about the great shed industry.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt.
And you can't do that without traveling sometimes, getting out in person and just like beating the road, right? Just pounding the concrete and like getting in front of people and going to dinner, building relationships. So
reminding ourselves how beautiful central Pennsylvania is. I mean, we were just looking out across whatever, I guess it's after we came through the double tunnels. Oh gosh, am I going to get it right?
Blue Mountain area.
Kittatinny.
Something like that.
Kittatinny Mountain Tunnel.
Cord, there's no cussing on the podcast. Watch your mouth.
I think I read that right. I said it to myself like 5 times as it was passing over top, and I think I'm saying that right. But yeah, when we came out of that second tunnel, and I mean just the vista, the like we were saying, I don't exactly know. Obviously, we're Western Kentucky, so we've spent some time in Eastern Kentucky and East Tennessee and more the Appalachians. But something about the sort of the ridge lines that just go on and on for miles. The Smoky Mountains, you get kind of a bunch of peaks and stuff like that. But when you just get that vista of I don't even know, a 10 or a 12 mile ridge. I mean, it's just so gorgeous.
We don't get that. I mean, even the little bit that we have in Southern Illinois, the National Forest, Shawnee National Forest and all that, like beautiful formations and things, but we don't get that. So, so the idea was like, hey, let's sit down and do a podcast. And Deanna said, I really don't like it when you guys put the headphones on because you don't talk as loud. And I was like, well, you should do the podcast with us. And she said, I will if you don't use the headphones. And so we're going to hold her to that.
So he threw the headphones back in the truck, and here I am.
So it's time to interrogate Deanna.
I think so.
As a guest.
That's okay, because I edited it. So
So what can we ask her that would entertain the audience here? Let's start with, how handsome is your husband? Seems like a good question.
Yeah, well, it's a good one to lead off with.
The shed experience you have, we've shared together.
yes.
But you have, I mean, you've obviously been very supportive. You've been there since I got started. But if I were to ask this question, I've never asked you this privately, so let's ask this
That's scary.
publicly for the first time. What has your experience been in the shed industry? I know it's very open, but like, what do you feel like it's done for our family? Good or bad? What are your overall thoughts? I know that's wide.
Obviously it's been good for the family because it's allowed our son to work with us and our daughter to work with us part-time. It's allowed me the freedom to be able to go with our daughter when something pops up. She needs somebody to go with her to the baby's doctor's appointment or something like that, or she's not feeling good and somebody's got to take the baby the last minute. So the freedom is probably the best.
I've heard the last couple of days, I've heard you guys reminiscing about all your travels, and it just seems like, I mean, when you talk about it, obviously we're on here, so, but when you talk about it privately, like I can just tell it means a lot to you, the time that you guys have got to spend together.
Well, when he first started traveling, I had a full-time job and we still had kids in school, so I wasn't able to go with him. So, when you're at home for a week without your husband, I'm sure you haulers' wives and everything understand that. It gets hard, So to be able to go with him and meet the people that he's talking about. And, of course, at the time when I had the full-time job, I wasn't editing, so I still didn't see everything, the people that he was talking to. So, to get to meet him is...
How's it been different because you get to go with me now and see a lot of what I do, where I go, the nature of the relationships, all that. How does that change versus you being at home and me coming home and talking about it? Like, does it feel different like going with me?
Well, yeah, because now I get to see the personalities, meet the people firsthand, not just trying to, picture a face with a person or.
It's hard
And
to.
I remember the companies more after being there and walking through and seeing.
I'm meeting their wives.
Yeah.
Like what I see is
going
like
to eat with their wives and their family and.
your ability to connect like with their wives, your ability to talk, like, like you find a way to fit in, like in every situation. I feel like whether it's supporting me or finding a way to connect with them one way or the
Both
other.
of my careers before this, I dealt with the parents. I talked to the moms. I talked to the dads. I worked, in the daycare. You have to talk to parents. You have to know what happened the night before, so.
Yeah, she's got a motherly instinct is the biggest thing. And she worked in the daycare for 10 years, and then she worked in the school system for 10 years.
In fact, I met Cord's wife through the school system.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You guys knew each other before me and you knew each other.
Yeah, big time. And I wouldn't even say that we knew each other. I knew that Annalisa, my wife, was always so thankful for Deanna at the school, right? But I mean, honestly, I don't know that you and I really knew each other. We knew each other's names.
Yeah.
But I just know how thankful Annalisa was for you in those years. My son was a bit of a troublemaker, or not even really troublemaker.
No.
He was rambunctious. And of course, in standard education, just being rambunctious kind of gets you a reputation. And, but anyway, yeah. So, but she appreciated you. I appreciated you for just doing your best to keep him out of real trouble and just keep him in the take a breath kind of, take a beat and find your footing back.
Well, and anybody that works in the school system knows you're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it. It was where I was supposed to be at that time. Yeah. I was just doing what I was supposed to do, what I felt led to do. So
Yeah, absolutely.
She's good with the kids. Like they come up to her all the time whenever we're out and about now. We miss you. We thank you. We appreciated your time that you were there. You don't know how much you helped me. Things like that. It's a calling. It's a ministry of its own.
Oh, absolutely it is. And, it's kind of funny how, administrators or principals or whatever kind of carry themselves as the people who run schools, but it is 100% the ones in the office, right? It is, if you want something done, you want something communicated the right way, you want the right tact to be had, that's who you deal with, right? And it is, I mean, it has to be
Well, you're the one who answers the phone when the parents call. What's going on? Well, you're kind of stuck in the middle between your boss and the parents, but, if you're there for the kids, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Digital Shed Builder is an online shed configurator that strives to provide incredible visual quality, fantastic customer service, and an amazingly low price point, making it a perfect fit for any shed dealer looking to increase their online sales. Digital Shed Builder is simple to use, taking less than 5 minutes to integrate on your site. The Get a Quote feature streamlines your sales process, showing you exactly what your potential customers need. They offer a highly customizable experience that accurately represents your brand and unique shed offerings, working with you directly to set up everything you need in a configurator. With no extra startup cost, no lengthy contracts or commitments, and no hidden fees, Digital Shed Builder has been created with quality, simplicity, and affordability in mind. Right. So then to further complicate it, to make the transition from a procurement purchasing agent to going to work at a jail and then subsequently working in prison ministry and drug addiction counseling and rehabilitation to sales in the sheds,
right,
to sales manager, to let's get into rent-to-own as a rep and travel around the country,
right,
to, hey, I like doing this and talking to all these people. We need to start a podcast because we need to share this information and connect people to, hey, here's cancer.
Right.
On top of,
right in that
you
same
know,
time.
right about the same time of like, I need you to be away from home for 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 days while your wife, and then you need to start a podcast work your career, and then, oh, by the way, here's your family gets to deal with breast cancer.
Yeah.
Which was a long battle, to say the least. Any thoughts on that? So you don't want to talk about that part because that's sensitive. Yeah. I don't blame her.
Yeah.
But we came through it.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was terrible, but we came through it. And I make the argument that it was harder on me than you. Not because it was physically, but I've been with her since I was 15, and that's tough.
Well, and
somebody go through
I knew
that.
the peace that God gave me.
Yeah.
They didn't, no,
Yeah.
They didn't feel that. I did from the time before. I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah. That's part of it. I mean, that was a very heavy setup.
Yeah.
Your professional podcaster husband
It's a hard question.
set you up good on that one.
He did.
Well, it affected us both. I mean, and it affected our kids.
Well, I said from the very beginning it was harder on you and the kids than me because I felt a peace from the beginning. I knew what it was from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And you just, what's the next step? What are we doing now? What are we fighting? What? Right. I didn't sit back and think about what was happening,
God's
what stage,
plan will prevail. Right.
What details until what? When I was done with chemo. So I had a year's worth of chemo, and I didn't look at any of the charts, any of the information until afterwards. And then you're like, oh, that was really bad.
12 rounds of chemo, a 16-year-old son, 18-year-old daughter. Like, I mean, it's hard for me not to get emotional. And I typically don't get emotional on the podcast, but I tell this story, and sometimes this story is hard for me to tell without crying. But, what I remember about it specifically was as a husband and a wife, this has just been our experience. We've been married 25 years. You have a routine, right? So, like, our routine is, you go in the bedroom, you got all your waters, you get all your medicine, you do all your stuff, whatever it is, right? You go through your routine. And I remember she was sleeping in the living room so much. Yeah. Right. And I'm telling you, this is hard. This is hard to talk about. This is hard stuff to mention. And I'm only bringing this up because the shed industry was so there for us. Right. It was so there for us. God was so there for us. People were so there for us. But I remember we bought her a chair specifically so she could get in and out of it easier. And she was, frail and, bald and all the stuff, right? Yeah. And I remember she was getting more comfortable sleeping in the chair because it was just easier. She go in bed and she's gone within an hour and she's back in there in the chair. Yeah. And she just got to where she's like, I'll just sleep in the chair tonight. So I'd do my thing. I'd go in there and I would go through the same routine. But you went through the routine without her there. And I remember I think I cried twice, just to be honest. But this was one of them because I remember laying in bed and she didn't come to bed. And it was like 3 days in a row. And it was like, gosh, what?
Well, and after surgery, I couldn't lay down. Yeah. I had to sit up.
And I just remember going, what if this was permanent?
Right.
And that hits you like a ton of bricks. And Cord, I went in the living room and she was in the chair and I laid down beside her and just wanted to hold her hand. Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to get y'all crying if that gets you crying because it makes me want to cry.
But it was
I just remember being like, man, what if that's permanent? And then it was so organic. You just want to hold her hand. But I'm going to tell you, SmartPay, Dave Miller and the guys over there were excellent for us whenever I was working with them. Can't say enough good about the freedom that he gave us, worked with our schedule, sent you some chocolates, did all the stuff right. People gave to the GoFundMe thing and things like that and allowed us to. So we don't just feel with the industry that like this is a home for us. We very much, I think, feel the need to give back through, if that's conversation that makes your day more light. Man, we do all the stuff, Cord. We have podcast about marketing and rent to own. We have rent to own competitors. We have marketing competitors on. We have 3D configurators. We have salespeople. We have just anyone in the industry come on and talk about their story. Yep. But oftentimes we don't talk about our story very often.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's that's the job of the host, right? And I mean, I think obviously you're nailing it right now. because Deanna's on with us, and that's awesome, and like that's pulling this stuff out. But yeah, I mean, it's natural to be the host, to be the person who focuses on the other. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you guys have a pretty incredible story within the industry, and I think coming from that place, I mean, right? I mean, that was at the very beginning of this sort of journey, and I don't think there's any way that has not shaped the way that you all have moved through the industry, whether that be by faith or by conviction or by whatever that ferociousness is that just, right? I mean, you lived, right? And like you live every day. It's not like a thing in the past. That's a thing every day.
And I think truly that's part of why you said you noticed that we enjoy.
You guys have me crying so bad right now.
We enjoy going on our trips.
This is outlandish.
You big baby.
I know. See,
when you're faced with possibly losing your person you've been with since you were 16, you enjoy the time together more.
Right.
Are you swimming in leads but struggling to close the deal? It's time to turn those leads into profits with Making Sales Simple, the ultimate sales training program designed specifically for shed sales professionals. At Making Sales Simple, we understand the challenges you face, overwhelmed by inquiries, unsure how to follow up, and missing opportunities that can boost your bottom line. Our proven techniques help you and your team master the art of connecting with customers, building trust, and closing deals like never before. Whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned pro, this training will sharpen your skills, increase your conversions, and drive your business to new heights. Don't let those leads go cold. Invest in your team's success today. Making sales simple, because every lead deserves a closer.
Right. And it's hard to explain things like just how, I mean, the joy that like stopping in E-Town, right? I mean, like just how positive.
Talking to Charles. Yeah.
Just how positive Charles is and just so polished, right? I mean, like trying to be able to experience that together. You can try and put that into words whenever you get home, but like you can't experience just how like good he is, right? I mean, he's selling when he's not selling. He's so good at just building that relationship, and I really think highly of him. I've enjoyed his talks whenever we've been at events together.
Well, yeah, we did like a co-event at Pineview.
In February, earlier this year.
Yeah, he was there speaking, and we were doing some training and things like that. It was awesome to get the 10 core commitments. He's been writing. I told him yesterday, I said, man, I was reading your articles in Shed Builder before I met you. Like I looked up to you as a professional then. You got 25, 30 years in this industry. You get to meet just, I don't know. I mean, the if I started naming people, we've got close to 400 episodes in, and like my biggest fear, we were in Bedford today. Yeah, fellow walks in and says, "Hey, I know you. Yeah, I saw you at the Shadow Bash," and I'm over here going, please forgive me because I have talked to you for 20 minutes, and I'm struggling to remember your name.
John David.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that.
Oh gosh, see,
I think Cord's right.
Yeah, you meet so many people, and you definitely want to give them your time. And coming from a guy who found no purpose in his life at some point,
right?
To have the reassurance that God gives you through His people to come up and say, "Thank you, I appreciate what you do," and I'm like, man, all I'm doing is giving people a microphone to talk, and this is the biggest thing is like when people come to me and say, "Appreciate what you do," I'm like, man, I really don't do. I mean, there's a lot to this. Don't get me wrong,
right?
But my goal was it was an idea. And it was an idea to have other people talk. And even the people who refuse to come on, or it's not that they refuse to come on, they'll talk to me and say, "I love the podcast. I don't want to do one." Right. I said, "What do you love about it?" "I love to hear people's stories." My comment's always, why are you withholding your story for other people to enjoy? It is not about bragging about you.
No.
But why are you like holding back that enjoyment for others. Because some of the best podcasts I get and the responses I get are the people who say, I got nothing to say.
Yeah, and the stories that are being told on here that I think impact people the most are the stories of struggle, right? They're the stories of how did it start? The stories of, gosh, those years were bad, right? You know, like those are the stories. So, I mean, you know, I understand the sentiment of just putting yourself in front of a microphone or in front of a spotlight as being, you know, you're obviously putting yourself out there. But as far as in having it as any kind of braggadociousness or anything like that, like it's not. The things that are impactful are the opposite, right? I mean, you know, nobody wants to hear about why, you know, how you're looking out off the top of the mountain, right? And I don't think that's what this podcast does. I think it very deeply explores the stories in the industry and the stories that have shaped the industry, and hopefully then kind of casts a vision forward. But you know, it's the people and the struggle and the overcoming that is powerful.
The biggest change for me is like when people say your podcast, I say it's not my podcast. I say, what do you mean? I say, well, you know, not even the podcast, but even the Shed Geek brand, I give it to the Lord. I give it to him because I'll do something better with it than I'll ever do, right? And the problem is when we begin to think that we're something or somebody, right? When we begin to, I did this, I built this.
Right.
I remember a time where I was on the side of the road and didn't feel valuable. Right. So like you don't get to brag over what you do. You get to brag about what God does through you. Right. And like, as long as you remain, I think, open to that. And I think every business should do that, whether you're in the shed industry or not. I think you should gift that, because he'll turn something that you take into something way better than you could on your own. So like, it's hard though to have that healthy mix of business and like, how does it cross over into your faith, and where do they intertwine, and where does that, you know, like family, business, Jesus, where do those all come together? And some people like to put those in a box. Jesus is over here, my family's over here, my business is over here. And I don't know how to do that.
At least.
For me, they just kind of mingle. And like, so I think that, and I think that's the way it should be. I think that, now that makes it hard in business whenever you compete or things like that. Yeah. Like, and so, I mean, the truth is, man, we are on a journey here with even the Shed Geek brand.
Yeah. As
it continues to expand, and, you know, trying to make sure we stay on track more than anything, and that the brand represents what we're trying to.
Yeah, for sure. And that our customers' brands do the same for them, right? I mean, obviously, yes, we kind of want to uphold all of our values and mission and all those types of things, and then put out, you know, we are putting this information out into the industry, which I suppose is a form of marketing. It's more like PR, but either way, you know, so, you know, we have to uphold those things on phone calls and in meetings and in the way we conduct business, right? Which is a heck of a lot harder than the way you write out a sentence on a flyer, right? You know, so. And
the more people you get involved, the harder it is to maintain your brand image, because you're expecting that everyone comes back as a representative of, they're endorsing your brand,
right? If
they're involved. And the more people you get involved, the harder it is to maintain that image in every possible interaction with somebody.
What is it, like, what, 90-10, or the sort of rule of, you know, like, everyone's going to expect that you conduct yourself as good as possible all the time, and like, you're not going to get a thumbs up for that, right? But then like, you will get called out, and I mean, you know, I think that we embrace that, number one, because we're trying to, you know, live and conduct ourselves in that way. But to my point though, you know, it's not just about monitoring our own stuff and sort of trying to be better every day internally. It's about trying to help our clients navigate that as well, right? Which can be hard Especially whenever we work in, the kind of Anabaptist community where there's like really and truly putting that message out for yourself is always the most effective way, right? But there's just some restrictions, and as far as like
you gotta be flexible. You've got to adapt. You've got to be able to adapt to different cultures, different business. I mean, even our language on here, we're always we're trying to be super conscientious of every interview, every word spoken. Make sure that it's done in a positive way. Yeah. Are there negative things in the industry? Are there things that happen? Are there yes? Do we do our best not to get on and talk about them in a negative light because it feeds the beast, right?
Right.
So we're all guilty of failure and having relationships fall through and faulty things. But it's how do I change the mode and the mentality that, going back to the Tyler Mahan interview, which is now almost 400 interviews ago, that said a rising tide lifts all boats. We can help each other. And that'll get us farther than working against each other. That's a biblical principle. That's not even something that we should just think about in the shed industry. We should be trying to help each other just in general. Yeah. And so trying to maintain that image it's definitely really hard, especially when you do have competition.
Hello. Today we're going to take a look at IFAB's component saw system. So we're utilizing a DeWalt chop saw. We've put it on sliders, easily to adjust. We've automated it using pneumatics so that we can run all these saws together using one actuator. We can either actuate with a two-hand safety control here or a foot pedal. The two-hand safety control comes with board clamps here so to clamp in your board so you're totally hands-free. We've got digital readout up here to find your angle as well as your length. So we have a 90-degree saw here for your super long angle cuts. We've also got a conveyor on this system to take away your cutoffs. This system is completely modular. We can add as many saws as you need. The rails can be as long as you need.
For more information, visit www.ifabllc.com.
Yeah, I almost want to ask Deanna some more questions.
Yeah.
Are you good now?
I'm good.
That's just teasing. None of us are good. We're still trying to overcome. You guys don't get to see the way Shed Geek works behind the scenes. But I don't know. I'm curious what you're I've wanted to get you on the podcast for a long time, and I've literally never asked her to do one until tonight. Yeah. And just because I was are you comfortable with going on here? And I know she's going to be like, well, what am I supposed to say?
Well, I mean, you could tell some stories on Shannon would be great. I know from viewing behind the scenes that the rhythm of the way that you just get everything organized and you are on top of everything, you effectively allow Shannon to float from place to place. And just show up and have breezy conversations.
Let me tell you why. When we're on the road, of course, when I first started helping him, he likes to talk a little bit.
Sure.
So, if I don't set the equipment up, we're still there 3 hours later and we haven't started the episode.
I want to interject.
I'm right.
I don't really have a whole lot to say. But I feel like this is the part where you yell objection in the courtroom.
No. It does allow you the time to have the conversations and without being sidetracked by putting...
capture them, right?
Yeah.
Because those 3 hours, a lot of times are the best because it starts with catching up, right? Mm-hmm. And if you could just... If it's just
getting the person at ease, if they're nervous about being on, just having conversations so that they know kind of what to expect when we start recording.
Right.
Yeah, the hardest part for me is the is the language. This is I don't know that this is deep. I'm just trying to extract this thought here. Cord, you're really good to help me with these things sometimes, but. I agree with what you're saying, but I struggle with I want to talk a lot. And I'm going to tell you why I struggle with that is because, like, I was actually a pretty shy kid,
Right.
relatively.
Yeah.
But I listen, as hard as this is to believe, I feel as though I listen twice as much as I talk. But my mind runs 100 miles an hour. And I can't quite get out all of the thoughts. And then you end up interrupting people. And there's so much you want to say because I'm an active listener. And this sounds like a sales pitch all day long for me, but
come on the podcast.
I'm listening so much to people that it just generates so many things I want to talk about, and I only get out 1/10 of what I want to say. Yeah, I still believe that, like, even whenever people say, "Why do you do a podcast?" It's not because I like to talk, but it is because I like to talk to people.
Like to connect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like to draw that.
I guess what I'm trying to defend here is I don't like to talk because I want you to listen to me.
Yeah.
I like to talk because I love the connection of people. I love the history of your story. I spent time talking to Dale about his father. I spent time talking. Like, I want to connect with you because I believe that we are built for relationship. And I still am naive enough to believe that good communication could end wars, could feed homeless.
Yeah.
But I believe the hardest thing for some reason in people on earth is to communicate effectively and not
drop all the barriers, drop all the walls. Yeah.
I'm always saying that the longest road is what's in my heart to my mouth.
Right.
To your ears and to your heart. That is the longest route. And if we can figure out that route, and communication is the best way to do it, but you're communicating in more ways than your speech. Not only your words, your actual words, but then the meaning of those words, but then also your body language. So, and I hate conflict.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time. And it bugs me to go, if these two people could get over their ego.
Yeah. Right. No, yeah, you're
they
right.
actually love each other.
Yeah.
And yet they can't communicate because they're spending all this time building an argument in their head instead of listening to what the other person's actually saying. And that's because words fail us sometimes.
Yeah.
Of what we're trying to say. And it bugs me. So I think that's why like the podcast even isn't it always about the shed industry as much as it is
life.
Yeah. Like, can we please be better people? Can we communicate better? Can we? And I fail at that too. Like, so like it's easy for me to preach from that pulpit.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's just trying. I mean, I would admit to it. My wife would certainly say it. Like, I've probably spent a lot of my life running other people's speech, other people's words that they're saying through like the most negative filter possible, right? And being like, oh, well, they must have meant this. I know that they didn't exactly say it, but like I can read between the lines because I know how, and like that's not healthy. And like, I mean, these are things that I've had to
That's
personally.
the devil on your shoulder.
That's exactly right. And these things I have to pray about and I have to confront and I have to, frankly hand over, right? Mm-hmm. Hand over to the Lord and be better about.
We've had people reach out to us and ask us for something and like not trying to be whatever. It's like you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah.
And people are like,
right.
what do you mean I'm asking the wrong question? It's like, well, you're maybe you're trying to get a quick answer from us.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we don't necessarily want to do a quick answer. We want to thoroughly investigate what you're talking about. And even if it means we end up not doing business with you, we'd rather come to the conclusion that it's truthful, helpful, and beneficial to both parties.
And I feel like we do a good job. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Rent-On's the same way, or Shed Hub, or anything we're in. It doesn't matter. It's the approach we take.
In the end, right, like I think, people sometimes assume that because we are broadening the conversation, mm-hmm. because we don't whatever, like classic example. One thing that happens a lot is people come to us wanting a website, right? Because it's something that people know that they need to update. It's like their face on the internet. People understand that like this is not, it doesn't look good. It's not up to date. It needs to change. Our shed styles have changed, whatever the case may be, right? And they start talking to us, and we start talking about, well, we need to be able to push them to your 3D builder. What 3D builder are you using? Right, that's the stickiest lead in the shed industry. We need to understand where you're at with that, right? In-stock inventory a second. Are you using an in-stock inventory service already? Are you using any e-commerce? Do you have that housed? By the way, we're going to need to capture every single one of these custom conversions, right? Interactions.
But even now, you're getting deep into the woods, right? But their question might have been, how can you help me? Or what can you do with my website? Or they're grasping at questions because they're like, I'm aware enough to know that the digital storefront's real and it's affecting me or helping my competition or anything like that. But I'm also scared to ask questions that I don't understand. It'd be like me going to a mechanic and being like, the way you think it's the Canuter valve, and I'm completely unaware of what I'm talking about.
Me and you are the exact right people to come up with bad questions for mechanics because we are not the ones. How many whatever gallons per minute is that? I don't even I don't know.
They're talking about, and a lot of this comes from my dad being a mechanic, and like me having so much disdain for my dad, because he was like not willing to be like, here, let me show you this. Instead, it was, get out of the way. You know what I mean? Or hold the flashlight. You're doing it wrong. You know what I mean? And it was just like, well, I ain't going to be a mechanic because I'm not going to be that guy. You know what I mean? And so it was like, I can go to a mechanic now and I'm just like, what's wrong?
Fix it.
Yeah, fix it. What's wrong with it? Whatever. And but it's, you got to be bold enough to ask those questions without feeling like because I don't know the answer to this. And so like we try to bring people in no matter what it is to be educational, to be like, look, let us explain to you.
And at the end, right, it is not some, like after we understand, we always come back around and are like, hey, look, we're just going to be honest with you. This is where you should start, right? Like this, we just ran through.
With or without us.
Yeah, with or without us. Like we just ran through 6 or 8 or 10 things that would be so valuable to you and your shed business and your growth and the dreams that you have and the legacy that you want to leave, right? Like we get all that and all these things are valuable, but then we bring it back down to earth and say, okay, now that we understand, we recommend these 2 services to start with.
But it's your choice.
But it's your choice, right? And or I mean, like we come around to sometimes, if you just want us to get leads, we can do that. Right now, that's not building up this system that really works, super efficiently for you like we would want to. But okay, right? Like we can perform that service.
And through that, what do we find? Hello, Shed Builders. I'd like to grab your attention for just a moment. As we look ahead to 2025, one thing is clear. Customers will have higher expectations than ever before. Shed consumers have an unprecedented access to information. To stay competitive, you need to create sheds that are not only high in quality, but also rich in innovation. You might recall my friend Dan Ream, one of my early podcast guests, who introduced Solar Blaster fans, specifically the Solar Roof Blaster. Dan has been busy handling orders, and he's eager to speak directly to shed builders about his groundbreaking products. What stands out to me about Dan's products, designed specifically for sheds, like the Solar Roof Blaster and the Solar Light Blaster, is how they enhance the shed owner's experience. With the focus on quality, it's time to start thinking about adding features and benefits for the end user. Here at Shed Geek, we wholeheartedly recommend Solar Blaster as the solution. My favorite thing about the entire line of products? The support you'll receive from Dan. Not only is he incredibly knowledgeable about these products, but he's also one of the most customer-focused individuals I know. He truly stands behind both his product and his service. We're searching for companies ready to elevate customer satisfaction to the next level. To learn more, just visit solarblasterfans.com and fill out some basic information for a callback, or connect directly at 480-747-7097. You can also check out the Shed Geek newsletter, where a click on the Solar Blaster ad will guide you to a form for more information and some cool videos showcasing the products. Let's power up innovation and elevate customer experiences together. I guess what I'm saying is I remember us. What's our hosting fee roughly? Just ballpark $5.99.
Yeah, $600 a year.
$600 a year to host your website. And I remember running through these things and finding a hosting site from a manufacturer that was charging $1,200 a month. And it was this is why even a phone call can benefit you greatly, because we can at least say, hey, it does not cost $1,200 to host your site monthly. You're being taken advantage of.
Well, and very likely that's one of
even
those,
if you don't work with us, you need to fix that tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's one of those that's not even purely just about money usually, because if it's $1,200 a month for hosting, usually that means that the website was built at a super low cost and is probably still owned by that. Usually that's the way that sort of, I don't want to cast aspersions or whatever, but usually that's the way that system works. And it's not, it's not a great practice, and then you have to disentangle yourself if you're ever, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. But
what's your thoughts on all this, Deanna, on these digital ads? We're curious. The audience wants to know.
No, I'm not in that world. I edit my episodes and I send out my newsletters.
What he did not object to a while ago was me saying that you allow him, all of your work allows him to just breeze in. Now he objected to that he likes to talk a lot, but he did not object to his lifestyle is you, and I see
because
that. And I
take care of him.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why he wanted me to go on the road with him
today, Cord. What do you think about your last appearance on the podcast? Honestly, it's not even just Deanna. Taking credit for things that you don't deserve, I feel is disingenuous. And I think I could sit here and start rattling off, right? Gerald, Titus, Josh, Justin, Cord, Jeff, Hazel, Joanna. Where's Aaliyah,
Troy,
yeah,
Deanna. How many people that are involved at
Cecilia.
some point?
Yeah, CC, beautiful grandbaby CC.
At what point, do you stop, taking the credit and try to give it back? My logo's on there, my face is on there, and people know the podcast, and certainly they know me if they listen with any regularity at all for 4 years, almost 5, and 400 podcasts. But what they don't see is all the people that do that very thing that you're talking about, which gives you the freedom and oftentimes the undeserved credit that you get. That doesn't make a person want to give back. Then I really don't know what does.
Right.
Because not only do you get the reputation, you benefit financially.
Yeah.
From other people's work. And
relationship wise, right? It allows you to really focus on, I see you do this, it allows you to focus on truly building relationships with people, right? That then pay dividends, both just in progress financially, just in moving things forward, right? It allows you to actually focus on that, which is
where I want to be,
right?
Which is where I'm comfortable. I've got a sign hanging above my desk that says, good players inspire themselves. Great players inspire others.
Right.
And to me, I think that's all I've really wanted to do is when people say, well, what's your talent? Are you building these automation, funnels in the CRM? No, I'm not. I get the credit for it.
Right.
But am I actually doing that? No.
but your influence on that, and this may, but hearing, sitting with Charles yesterday, but those relationships, and I haven't even told this to you, but Charles 10, what does he call them? The 10 what?
10 core commitments.
The 10 core commitments, right? That influenced the way that I thought about our initial follow-up sequences, right? Like listening to him talk and the relationships that you have, and the reason we wound up, sitting in the same room at Pineview has affected the way that we build follow-up that has now yielded 15% higher response rate, right? So, like, do you build it? No. But was that like an offshoot of like a conversation that started because we were in a room with Charles back in February, and now we've like built out, taken his 10 core commitments that are, I think by his own telling at this point are like 20 years he's been making those 10 core commitments, right? And taking those concepts and saying, gosh, how can we apply that to, 2025?
I think we've done a good job of doing that in the industry in general. It's like interviewing people and saying, let me take the best from each.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And like apply those things as an example in the industry of what you should do. And so, like, everyone's not going to buy in, Cord. Like some people are going to be like, oh, that sounds like good, ego feeding garbage.
Right.
Right. At the end of the day, it's like going to a sales event and they get you off your feet and hyped and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, once all the smoke and mirrors is gone, though, there's real life. And I'm like, honestly, guys, this is, I hate to break it to you. This is either sad or boring or whatever you want to call it. This is real life. This is actually who we are behind the scenes, too.
Yeah, right.
It's not even just what we do in front of everyone.
Again, Deanna can speak to it as much or as little as she wants. This is her show, her day. But, like, this is the exact conversations, like, not quite verbatim, but, like, that Shannon and I have had for the last 2 days driving down the road,
You could get 24 hours of podcast content if you stuck a mic in there. The only difference is names get thrown around as opposed to
right.
Podcast.
Being a little more vague.
Keep everything, no, it doesn't mean that like we won't want to brag on people, but we don't want to bring anybody down or take anybody down a notch through the podcast.
Never.
So, hello from the Shed Geek team. I'm Shannon Latham, host of the Shed Geek Podcast. I would like to encourage all of our listeners to attend this year's Shed Sales Summit hosted by Making Sales Simple in Knoxville, Tennessee. Whether you sell directly or have a team of shed sales professionals, becoming a shed sales professional and increasing your education with the advice of proven industry leaders who are offering valuable advice is absolutely imperative to your growth and helps to take your team to the next level. From a marketing perspective, we know just how important it is to have shed sales professionals out there representing our products in the industry. I can't wait to be in Knoxville at this year's Shed Sales Summit. I hope to see you there. 50 minutes goes by pretty quick.
When you're having
fun. And you haven't even said a whole
with
lot.
friends.
That means we'll have to have you back for another episode.
We'll see.
I keep saying we need to get Troy and Aaliyah on and ask them kind of like what their experience has been, because nothing has quite affected us like the shed industry.
Well, especially when they were in the same situation I was. They grew up, they seen you leaving to go do this and coming back and talking about it. Well, now they're a part of it too.
Yeah.
And Troy's gotten to go with us on a few trips and experience and help set up and meet people. And
he'll be at the expo with us this year, helping to set up and all that good stuff.
What's the chances the knitted rabbit is in here? Is it? So while we talk and talk.
Crocheted, but yes,
crochet, not knit. Okay. While we talk
Get
and
it
talk.
together, Cord.
Yeah, I know. Deanna like crochets the most beautiful. She almost, is it done?
It's not done, but
she
it
almost
will
has
be by the
crocheted.
time the show goes out.
Yeah, a whole rabbit. So maybe at the end of the show, there can just be like a picture.
I'll show you. I'll put it in the show.
Tie dye almost. It's beautiful. Such a good work. Anyway,
she makes some complex stuff, and I think me and you were talking about it yesterday. It was like, it can't be for the money. Because, like, I think she had a blanket one time. It was like $75, and people were like, $75? And it's like, there's $60 in yarn in it.
Right.
It's literally, you're asking to make $15, and there's 10 hours of work there.
Oh, there's more than that.
And you're just like, it from an hourly perspective, trust me, we're not making money there, but she does it just to fund what she enjoys. And
I've been blessed enough to make blankets for friends' babies, and, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually, this is what cracks me up, is like, we're boring people. I mean, that's real. I would like to tell you that, like, all that glitters is gold, and that we're just fun people. Actually, if you came and hung out with us, you would probably find that we are homebodies. We're way more introverted than what we let on, because it seems like we talk a lot, do podcasts, but whenever we're home, we watch documentaries. She crochets.
The excitement is in a new bag of gummy bears. It's like, hey, I got those Albanese that you like so much. You know, is there some sweet tea? And me and you are happy as a lark. And
free shout out to Albanese gummy bears, because if you're not eating those, you're wrong.
Oh,
they
my
are
goodness,
the best.
They are good.
What a
gummy bear.
What a tagline.
Yes.
Albanese gummy bears. If you're not eating those, you're wrong.
Yeah. What's the Haribo?
Yeah, Haribo. Yeah.
Nobody cares about those, because Albanese.
They're so much juicier. They're so much fruitier.
More flavor.
I'm on.
This is why
they're gonna have to
into the podcast,
yeah,
is to find out about Shed Geek snack habits.
Well, I mean, the shed industry had better watch out, because Albanese is gonna start coming knocking with a sponsor offer.
I'll tell you what, if Albanese and Red's Donuts,
oh my goodness,
wants to sponsor,
hey,
look, I'm here for it. But, I don't know. I enjoy being on the road. I really like this trip, because me and Deanna have gone. Look, I've gone solo. I've gone with others, like friends, or whatever, marketing, rental. Well, we've done it all, right? And a lot of times, but this has been fun and we're only in day 2 of a short 5-day trip, honestly. But we are already 16 hours both days. I don't even know. It's almost midnight. We got a 6 a.m. wake up.
You need to be on the road at 6:15 or 6:30.
But we hope that we're bringing pleasure to your day, whether you're driving, hauling sheds, working in a sales office. I like to think that, people tell me, they say, hey, I don't catch every episode, but if I see somebody on there I think's worth listening to, I'll listen to. And I would just say, obviously, I think everything is worth listening to, but we certainly try to build a show around a multitude of things that people may find entertaining, from bringing on shed stories and historical when we started. Like tonight, you were talking to me about, I was looking up people in central Pennsylvania who are doing good SEO and different things and different ads. And you were like, who stole Swiss structures? Like that was one of a real moment that happened right before the podcast. And I was like, I haven't got a chance to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, but there's history there.
Right.
And like, it's even connected to the podcast, and like one of our, you know what I mean? Like I can go back to like talking about all that. We haven't got a chance to have that conversation yet, but
great organic content.
Yeah. Stoll's
Food Structures. If you're listening, you guys are doing great organically. So
it's just funny, because like you travel through an area like this and you begin to look at different things, and of course you start getting hit with all the ads. Of course.
Yeah. Or when you're in the industry, every other thing on your phone becomes an ad.
But I think we try to bring on people that tell their stories. I think we try to bring on people who provide products and services that serve the industry. We're certainly blessed to be doing this almost 5 years. March would be the start of year number 5. And like I said, close to 400 episodes. We've tried some things, you know what I mean? Like we've brought in other hosts. We've talked about a million things. I've talked about doing a daily 30-minute content show, almost to start to treat the Shed Geek Podcast almost like a radio show, if you will.
Right.
We're not a broadcast. We're not syndicated. We're an RSS, podcast. That's what we do. But we have to publish the content on YouTube. We have to publish it on our plane communities. The way we get it out to the plane communities. We have the newsletter, and then of course we have all the deliverables of the podcast, right? And all the affiliates that, we try to get it out. And if we could do something almost daily, almost like a show, and then publish it every day and it come out the next day, you could do call-ins and different things. I mean, there's a million ideas, floating out there, but I think more than anything, we just thank you for giving our family. And it's not just our family at this point, guys. There's so many families that kind of
are intermingled or are associated or, work with and for and partner with. And it's really becoming a reasonably sized web.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a lot of pressure. And man, it don't take much to take you down a notch, right? You know what I mean? Like one or two people, can throw a little bit of shade on your project, and you have to kind of figure out how to move past that. We're very public, at least in this industry, in the way that we move. So thank you guys for your grace, your mercies. Look, whether you work with us or not, we want you to succeed. I think there's a saying, there was a quote that was going around on Facebook for a while that said, "You can't compete with me. I want to see you win." And I think that's the approach we kind of try to take, is like, I'm happy to see you do well with or without us, with or without our marketing, with or without our rent-to-own, with or without our finance, with or without Shed Hub, that we're moving stronger on. I want to talk about that at some point. We need to get all those guys on here.
Yeah.
They'd be amazed at what's happening behind the scenes. So we're hoping that really starts to reflect for you guys. But I think we just really wanted to get a group of people together to do something good.
Yeah, and work hard every day, and then leave it in the Lord's hands, right? And and I feel like that's what we all are committed to doing, and that's what we do. And obviously, if like you say, everybody falls short sometimes, but I think that we really do our best to just try to do the Lord's work and then leave it in the Lord's hands.
Yeah, it's been fun. Well, thank you guys for sitting down with me. It's exciting to have Deanna on for the first time. I did not anticipate the waterworks. I didn't know we were going to.
It's all your fault.
I didn't know we were going to go there.
Such a good question.
Sometimes you just go where you led, right? So.
Well, it was life. It was a turning point in our life, and it was definitely a major part of our life. So.
I mean, we have been we're an hour over, so we probably need to quit. But we have been together since we were 15.
I was 16.
You drove.
I drove
because I wasn't old enough. So she came and picked me up to go on our first date. But 96, started dating.
Where'd you go?
We went to Carbondale, Illinois, to the mall.
Nice.
Ran into your parents.
Yep.
I was a thug.
He was.
I was
I kept him out of trouble.
I was always into trouble. I remember I had a mullet, and I was wearing a Georgia Bulldogs coat. Yeah, and I thought I was tough.
Right.
Basic training taught me I wasn't.
Right.
About a year.
But you hadn't been there yet.
Hadn't been there yet. But yeah, we went to Carbondale. That's all. I don't remember where we went to eat or anything like that, but there wasn't really a whole lot to do where we grew up. So
it was a big trip up there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it was.
It was just somewhere to go to walk around and talk.
Yeah. And then she fell madly in love with me because I'm extremely handsome. And
back to the very
first
question.
If I didn't love you, I wouldn't be with you this long.
Yeah, right.
Look, first of all, she was immediately clingy. And I had to be like, okay, fine. I'll go out with you. And then I had to tell the 10 other girls, I'm sorry, this one's bugging me. And that's how
she
it
seems
went,
like
right?
a good one. That's right.
Something like that?
No, something like that.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. She's been great. And honestly, we work well together. So I'm really happy to be able to do this. So I hear guys tell me all the time I couldn't work with my wife. And I always say, well, I can't work without her.
Yeah.
We work great together. We're a well-oiled machine at this point, and she does do exactly what you said. She makes it easy for me to go and build the relationships, which I enjoy doing. And her, along with a lot of other people, deserve a lot of credit for the success of Shed Geek. So thank you guys, including anybody who works with us in financing, rent-own, marketing, Shed Hub. If you've been on the podcast, and like honestly, if you enjoy any of this content, and if we just make you sick and you just don't want to hear us anymore, thank you for at least not hurting our feelings and telling us about it. So,
Right.
anybody got anything before we go? We got to go to bed.
Yeah. 12 on the dot. We've officially rolled over into day 3.
Time to call it a night. I do still love the idea of prayer on the podcast. I've been saying this, and this is, I mean this directly. I've been told that maybe my faith being so openly talked about doesn't match maybe certain companies. And for that reason, I want to continue to say we will always be faithful in the industry.
Right.
And if us talking about Jesus is not a good representative for your company, then thank you for tuning out, because we're not going to certainly cave into any pressure to not talk about things that have been so openly. Look, we wouldn't be here without Jesus.
Right.
So we're not selling out. So thank you, but no thank you. And for that reason, we'll continue to give him honor, praise, and glory. So with that being said, I usually ask someone to pray.
Oh, gosh. Are you going to put me on the spot?
Are either one of you guys prayer people?
I mean,
Prayer people? Are y'all prayer people? Y'all ever do that stuff?
I mean, I am. I don't often.
Are you uncomfortable
I
right
don't
now?
often do it out loud, because it's
Hey,
usually
Cord, would you pray?
it's usually my uncle, or at family stuff. Or
I love it that he's so uncomfortable with
no, I
this
will.
right now.
I will. I mean, I'll just give it my best prayer that I would normally give for, for myself. Or
Normally here, I would edit this, and then I would be like, don't worry about it, dude. I got it. I'll pray. But now I'm enjoying this a little bit.
No, I got it.
Okay.
All right. I am nervous, though. You're right. I mean, I don't often do it aloud. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for the fellowship and the joy that Deanna and Shannon and I have had so far on this trip. Thank you for not just our customers, but for our friends, and for how they enlighten our lives and strengthen our faith, and really continue to help us walk this journey, not just in the industry, but in life and in your service. Please continue to watch over us on this trip. Continue to light the path. Continue to show us the opportunities, and allow us the grace and the forthrightness, and the clarity to walk in your ways. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. Good job, dude.
Gosh, I don't know. That felt a little choppy.
No,
but that's
good.
basically what I say in my head, so it feels a little different coming out.
You did good, man. It always, I remember the first time I was asked to pray, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not saying I'm any more comfortable today.
Well, you find a rhythm in it, and I find a rhythm in it myself. But, like I say, I guess I'm not quite to the elder stage in the church yet where I'm asked to be at the front. I sing with joy, but that's probably,
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask me to sing and I asked you to pray.
We'll swap next time. That's right.
Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. Thanks again, Shed Pro, for being the Shed Geeks studio sponsor for 2025. If you need any more information about Shed Pro or about Shed Geek, just reach out. You can reach us by email at info@shedgeek.com, or just go to our website, www.shedgeek.com, and submit a form with your information, and we'll be in contact right away. Thank you again for listening, as always, to today's episode of the Shed Geek Podcast. Thank you, and have a blessed day.